everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another In Case You Missed It with me, the RealShadyUnicorn. Today I've got two indie games I want to talk about, so let's get into it. We're going to start with Hollowbody, which is said to be a survival horror short story and is being developed and published by Hessler Games. So far this has no release date, but you can wishlist it on Steam. About this game. It's a shipper's biggest fear. You're grounded in the exclusion zone, 20 miles of death and decay sealed off by the towering, suffocating walls erected after the collapse. Alone, stranded, and with limited resources at your disposal, you'll have to push your way through the zone, solve environmental puzzles, manage resources, and fight for your life as you try to find a way to escape beyond the wall. Play as Micah. It's either Micah or Mika. I'm gonna go with Micah, an unlicensed shipper working for an infamous ring of black market freelancers. It sounded like a simple job. Another run across the zone, slow and low. Keep under the radar by casing beneath the electrical storm that blankets the sky overhead. But something feels off. The drop point is dead. Hadn't been active in months, maybe years. These things happen. People get spooked. A 5-hour flight back and a few hundred credits wasted on fuel, you get in your hover and head home. An hour into the zone and there's an issue with your hover. The nav's running in circles and you're gaining altitude. Before you know it, a blinding white light fills the sky. The flash goes dark and your hover drops out of the air like a lead balloon, slamming into the paved streets below. You wake to the acrid smell of an electrical fire, rain pounding on the cracked windshield. You're surrounded by the crumbling remains of what were once considered homes. You need to find your way out, call for evac, scale the walls, find something, anything to survive. The gameplay gives me like old school Silent Hill vibes, and the story sounds like you may be in for a bit of a challenge in a lonely and eerie setting that could sometimes sound a little claustrophobic. Here are some key features. Classic survival horror gameplay inspired by early 2000 horror titles. Makes sense why it's giving me the vibes it's giving me. Cinematic blend of dynamic and fixed camera angles, logic puzzles, resource management, and limited combat with a focus on narrative and exploration, which I'm perfectly fine with. I don't need a ton of combat as long as the atmosphere and the story are both engaging. The combat isn't necessary. You just give me some good tools and stuff to do and puzzles to solve, and I'm good. That's great. Multiple endings, fully voiced characters, an emphasis on strong world building set in a dystopian near future. Carefully placed save points ensure tension is maintained whilst respecting the player's time. Accessibility options for those who prefer exploration over combat. And there's also New Game Plus features. I wish more games would implement a New Game Plus feature. I would love to play through a game a second time if there was a New Game Plus feature. There's plenty of games I won't play a second time just because it's the same thing. I am a sucker for Resident Evil 1 and Silent Hill 2 graphics and fixed camera angles, so this one is definitely on my radar, and hopefully we get a release date really soon. So now let's move on to a psychological indie horror called Mannequin Hessler Storage, which is being developed and published by Dread Passage Studios. It is set to release sometime this year on PC, and there is a demo available that you can watch me play on Shady's Corner. You can also find Dread Passage and Mannequin Hessler Storage on Twitter. Let's learn a little more about this psychological horror. Investigate and explore an abandoned storage facility, uncover the mystery of its previous use, and escape with your life. Explore Hessler Storage as Professor Tobias Shaw, an expert in history, archaeology, symbolism, and the occult. Professor Shaw enters Hessler Storage after being told about a symbol on a stone. A symbol he has been searching for his entire life that could give him some answers that he's been seeking. I appreciate this little bit of vagueness they're giving us in the story. It gives me hope that there might be a decent amount of exploration and discoverable lore, and kind of just drives the story forward that way. I like having to find and unravel stories instead of it just saying, here's what you're going to get. I much rather actually find and explore it myself. Here are some features. Time matters. Time in Hessler Storage has an effect on the story, changing rooms, locations, item placement, and the dangers that lurk within. It belongs in a museum. Hessler Storage will house some of the world's rarest and most esoteric collections of artifacts. Professor Shaw's expert knowledge of these items will lead him to want to take some of them with him. But which ones? Is it me? Descending underground into the darkness, discovering the secrets of Hessler Storage, and being pursued by relentless evil will take a toll. It may even change what Professor Shaw sees. Was that door there before? Is that mannequin real? Is something coming out of the shadows for him? You're not alone. Professor Shaw won't be alone in Hessler Storage. Besides the malevolence stalking him, he will also have someone who knows the facility guiding him. Former security team leader Argus Fisher. Professor Shaw will be told door codes, where keys are, and hear what happened in Hessler storage from someone who worked there when it was operational. Communication is key. Professor Shaw will need to keep in radio contact with Argus in order to know where to go and what to do next, but not all of the radio antennas are working. Professor Shaw will need to fix them to maintain his only means of escaping, but something else in Hessler storage can take advantage of the radio communication. Fail to realize you're in a dead zone and something else may be talking to you, leading you somewhere else. Ooh, that deception tactic could be so interesting, but who is this villain that's taking over during this radio silence or when we don't know that we're in a dead zone? That's what I want to know. Like, that's so eerie. Fear. First-person emotional arc response. The fear system is Professor Shaw's fight or flight response. If he's in an area that's too dark with too many things lurking near him, he can only run and hide. Doors will take longer to unlock as he fumbles with keys, but if the area is well lit and there are few things to be afraid of, Professor Shaw can fight, shoving and kicking his way through enemies and doors. I appreciate that there's like a shove and a kick, and that you don't have all these weapons that you have to have. It's kind of, it might make it a little more tension heavy and interesting. Hessler storage has a dark past. Can you find all the secrets to this abandoned facility and escape with your life? Mannequin Hessler storage. Sounds like it's going to play around with some new game mechanics and use other mechanics in a unique way. I enjoy the exploration in atmospheric areas that allow you to immerse yourself into that perfect space to be jump scared, and it sounds like this game is going to give you a lot of that atmospheric space to where you kind of get focused on what you're doing or the task at hand or the exploration, and you don't even realize, like, oh, here comes a jump scare. You know, it's like the whole not realizing you're in a dead zone and having somebody lure you by radio communication and you don't even realize it. Like, it's unique. I appreciate that. Today we've covered Hollowbody, which is coming soon to PC, and Mannequin Hessler storage, releasing sometime this year. Let me know in the comments below if these are games that intrigue you. Join me Sunday for Shady's Corner, where I'll play the demo of Mannequin Hessler storage at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time live. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Please remember to like, subscribe, share the video if you can, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody.